up, y'all? What's up, man? I know I have a lot of delays in between videos. Sorry about that. Life gets in the way sometimes, but I'm back, and today's subject is about understanding women. You know, I've only been on this earth but for so long, and I've been on a lot of dates with a lot of women, and you know, I've been in a lot of relationships. Well, I've been in a few relationships, but a lot of dates. Um, I've pretty much came to my own synopsis of how women think and how women are. Even the great Albert Einstein said that understanding the universe wasn't an issue, but understand what his wife was thinking was a mystery that he could never solve. One of the smartest men on earth couldn't even understand women. I know that I only know but so much about females as far as like how they think and shit, but this is what I come to as a whole. I'm just gonna start naming like little things specifically about females that I've noticed and about how they think. Alright, for number one, women always want someone to listen. Because women love talking. They love talking. They really don't want to hear what you have to say, but they want you to hear everything that they have to say. Women need an outlet for them to run their fucking mouths. That's one conclusion I came to. Another conclusion that I've come to for women is that is about the whole entire ideal of wanting a provider. Women want a provider because to me, a lot of them have the mindset of children. I'm not even going to fucking lie. If you're an adult, you shouldn't need a provider, especially in the 21st century where everybody claims to be equal. But women were brought up to want a man that's a provider for the simple fact that they don't have to do as much. They pretty much don't have to do shit. And society is pretty much, spoon-fed women from the beginning of time. If you think about it, and I said this in a couple other videos, women haven't really invented shit. They haven't even invented tampons. A tampon was invented by a man. Like, they want men to do all of this shit for them, and they don't want any of the responsibilities for the most part. They want all of the perks, none of the responsibility. So they want a man that's a provider. This is why they throw their pussy at basketball players and Wall Street bankers and doctors and shit, because they want a provider. They want easy living. If you want to be seen as a woman that I respect or any other man respects, then don't try to have a man that's a provider. And they also look for a father figure in a lot of guys for the most part. A lot of women, they kind of look for traits that their father had. They look for those type of traits in the man that they're going to choose, which is kind of weird to me. Because I had a lot of women tell me that shit. So the whole thing about a provider is a fucking joke, but they all want a fucking provider, but yet they claim to be independent at the same fucking time. What the fuck? Another thing I found out about women is about marriage. From very young, from a young age, they were taught to pretty much find a man that's gonna marry them and take care of them for the rest of their fucking lives. Well, think about it. Hell, the toys they play with when they grow up. They play with dolls and the little Barbie dolls and the Ken doll. And from young, they're taught, oh yeah, yeah, man, marriage is the ultimate goal. They're taught that from young because a woman's worth is diminished by the time she turns 30. By the time she turns 30, men really ain't trying to marry her. Men ain't really trying to get with her. So they're taught from young, find a man that's going to want you while you young and take care of you from young. So when you get older, you'll be set. So that's my whole concept on the marriage. Because think about it, marriage is built tailor-made for women. There are very few perks that men get from marriage. Marriage is a draconian ideal that was, that's marketed by companies and pretty much praised by women. So that's how I feel about marriage with women. Then on top of that, what I found out about women, women are not logical at all, and they're very contradicting. You know, like they'll say, "Oh, I want a man that's gonna respect me, but I want a man that's not gonna be a punk. I want a man that's an alpha man, but I want a man that's gonna be sensitive at the same time. I want a man that's a provider, but I also don't want a man that's gonna look at me any less than what I am. I want a strong man, but I don't want him to be a jerk. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Women are very contradicting when it comes to that, and when it comes to logic, they don't have any. A lot of them. A lot of them fly off the handle and say a lot of shit and do a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. Prime examples of this are like when women get into arguments with men. Like, think about it. A man gets into an argument with a woman. What do we do to de-escalate it? We try to say everything we can to de-escalate the argument. Or we'll just leave and say, fuck it, I'm about to go get a beer. I'll come back when everything is calmed down. That's what us guys do. Women, on the other hand, they say everything in their power to hurt your feelings. They'll say shit that's not even related to the argument just to hurt your feelings. A man's point of an argument is to squash the problem. A woman's point of an argument, there is no point with a woman. Most women will just say what they can to win. Whether that means anything to hurt your feelings or anything that's crossing the line, which isn't logical at all. You know? I mean, women are not logical. They're not logical beings. They're emotional as fuck. That's how they're built, man. That's why you don't see a lot of great female philosophers. That's why you don't see a lot of great female thinkers, because they don't think based off of logic at all. And they're very, and another thing I found out about women always, they always look for validation and reassurance. With females, it's all about those two things: validation and reassurance. Let me give you an example of both. Women look for validation because they want to be seen. Oh, I don't want to be seen as a slut. Oh, I don't want this guy to think I'm a slut. Oh, I don't want these girls to think I'm that way. I don't want motherfuckers to think this and this about me. So they constantly need validation about who they are as a fucking person. And they constantly need reassurance. Like they constantly want to reassure that you're not cheating on them. That's why they look through your phone. They constantly want reassurance that they're pretty. That's why they constantly need reassurance from a man. That's why they always ask questions like, "Do you love me?" Or, "Do you think I look fat in this dress?" "Oh, well, is your ex-girlfriend prettier than me?" "Oh, am I the best you ever had in bed?" And blah, blah, blah. Women constantly need reassurance. I don't know why, but they're just insecure like that. They're emotionally fragile like that. And they need validation. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, man. And I also found out why women act like bitches towards other women. Why a lot of women can't be friends with other women. They can't be friends with each other because, you know, women always want to be better than another woman. They can't just be friends. They gotta be, oh, I gotta be the prettiest, or I gotta be, I gotta be the smartest in the group, or I gotta be number one amongst friends. It's always competition with women like that, and I don't fucking understand it. You know, this is why a lot of women I know can't be friends with other women. It's real fucking weird like that, man. You know, and women gotta deal with emotional bullshit from other women. Us men, we don't really have that bullshit. So with that being said, a lot of chicks want to be the girl in the group full of guys because it's less bullshit to deal with. You know? I mean, these are some of the things that I've pretty much come to a conclusion about when it comes to women and their state of mind and how they think. And I hate to say it, but a lot of women act like fucking children. This is why, if they get upset, they throw tantrums. This is why they do shit like destroy a man's car if he cheats on them. Or this is why they do shit. This is why they do shit like that, because they have the mindset of children. A lot of them nowadays. Because a fucking rational way of handling something isn't throwing a brick through a man's car, or burning all his clothes, or spray painting, fuck that bitch on the side of his car. That's not a rational way or a logical way of doing anything or solving any problem. But women do that because they're childish. They throw tantrums and they fucking call you every name out the book when something doesn't go their way because they're childish. They don't know how to accept rejection like us men know how to accept rejection because they're childish. They're always used to people saying yes to them. And they like to play dress up all the time, just like children. I hate to say this, man. I really fucking do. Because, I got women in my family, but Lord forbid, some of them act like this. They constantly need validation and reassurance just like children. Why do you think when there's a fucking mass casualty, they say rescue the women and children first? It's a reason for that. Because that's the type of mentality they have. They're weaker, and they want things to go their way, and they want special treatment all the time. And if they don't get their fucking way, they'll throw a fit. Because they're mentally fragile and emotionally unstable. I'm sorry, but this is the consensus that I've come to nowadays about women. I really wish it wasn't true, but it is. That's all I got to say right now. This might be part one to this. Might make a part two. But sorry for the delay, folks. It's your boy Doc G. Holla at your boy. Peace.